Good morning. Welcome everyone to our session today on slow cooking. I'm Sarah Sims, Southern University Ag Center nutrition educator, Madison and Richland parishes. Today, our subject is slow cookers. And thank you again for joining us. Now, in the past, fast-paced world, we're often just overwhelmed by everything. There's just so much to do. Between work, school, children, and just general things around the house, things are getting more and more complicated by the minute. This is where the help of a slow cooker will come in handy. Using a slow cooker, it helps you to prepare meals quickly and cook them slowly and make it easy for you and your family to sit and enjoy a very nutritious meal. Just imagine Just imagine coming home from a long day of work. You walk in the door and you are greeted with the aroma of pleasant, just something beyond explanation. But before the day, you had anticipated this. So what you did, you planned and you packed your crock pot the night before. So when you got in that afternoon, you were greeted with the aroma of a delicious soup ready to serve. All you had to do is just add your bread, your salad, and voila, dinner is served. Slow cooking is a method of food preparation for people on the go, as long as it's done safely. Now, the slow cookers have been around for many years. It's an all-purpose cooker, and it was developed around the 1970s. And today it is known as a slow cooker. It's known as a crockery cooker, and it's also known as a crock pot. Now, the name crock pot, in reality, this is really just a brand name for the appliances. And now we do not by any means endorse any particular brand or name of our appliances. Remember, a crock pot is a slow cooker. With your slow cooker, it keeps your food safe through cooking because there's direct heat from the pot, the length of time, and the steam that's created within the tightly closed pot. So it is safe, very, very safe. And there are so many benefits of cooking with a slow cooker. One is that slow cookers use less electricity than an oven. Cookers can be used all year long, in the summer, winter, spring, anytime. In the summer, cookers do not heat up the house like the oven would. It tenderizes your lesser cuts of meat. A slow cooker often, helps with preparation. It's one step, everything's in the pot, and the cleanup is easy and done. And remember, a variety of foods can be cooked in the slow cooker. So a lot of things can be prepared in your cooker. If you have a cooker, you want to be sure to know your slow cooker. Slow cookers are available in different sizes, and you need to follow the instructions for using it. If you cannot find your instructions, you can cut the meat into smaller chunks to ensure thorough, safe cooking. Add the liquids such as broth, water, barbecue sauce, or whatever is suggested by your recipe, and voila, start the cooking, but be sure to keep the lid in place during cooking. The crock pot has several settings. It goes, and some of the more modern ones have really elaborate settings. So be careful and notice what you're selecting with your choices. But you want to be sure to start with a clean, slow cooker, utensils, and a clean working surface. Wash your hands before and during and after food preparation. The first time you use your slow cooker, whether it's new or used, you want to be sure to pay close attention to it. Stay at home and be familiar with how it works to ensure that it's working properly. Set the slow cooker on high for the first hour and turn the heat setting to low to finish cooking. Food will cook in 6 to 10 hours on a low setting, and food will cook in 4 to 6 hours on a high setting. So you want to be very sure to pay attention to your cooker, the settings on your slow cooker. In preparing your recipes, and yes, you can use your favorite recipes in the cooker with some modern modifications. You want to be sure to cut meat and vegetables ahead of time and store these perishable foods separately in the refrigerator. Now, this can be done the night before or several days ahead of time, but store them in the refrigerator. Remember, vegetables cook slower than meat and poultry. You place your vegetables in the slow cooker first, then you place your meat on top of your vegetables and top that with your liquid, your broth, or your water or sauce or whatever you're preparing it with. So it's easy to convert your favorite recipes and use the crock pot. But in packing your cooker, you want to be sure again to cut your meat into uniform sizes to be sure that it cooks thoroughly. Check your instruction manual, your book that comes with your cooker or your recipes, and follow the directions for preparing large cuts of meat or poultry safely in your cooker. If it says not to do that, it's best not to put an oversized cuts of meat or poultry in there. And be sure, do not try to cook frozen meat or poultry in the slow cooker. You want to thaw your meat and your poultry in the refrigerator before cooking it in your slow cooker. A slow cooker may take several hours to reach a high enough temperature to destroy the bacteria. And remember, bacteria multiply at a rapid rate at these temperatures. In filling your cooker, you want to fill your slow cooker no less than 1/2 full and no more than 2/3 full, because more than 2/3 full, your food may cook too slowly to be safe, and less than half full, your food may cook too fast and you risk the chance of burning it, and that would be really bad. Again, you can convert your favorite recipes to use in the slow cooker. You want to use a recipe with ingredients and amounts that's similar to existing slow cooker recipes. When converting soups and soup recipes, reducing the liquid does not really matter with the soups. But if you're going to add pasta at the end of the cooking time, separately, because if you add it before it become mushy. So you add it just before serving so it doesn't get mushy. For milk, cheeses and creams, you want to be sure to add those an hour before serving to avoid the curdling. And by all means, remember the recommended temperatures for preparing foods. 145 degrees for fresh beef, veal, lamb, poultry, 145 for your fish. You want to be sure to cook it until it's fresh and clear. 160 for eggs, ground meat mixtures, and 165 for casseroles, and so on. The timing chart for adapting your recipes. If you're going to use a recipe, if you have a recipe that you like and you want to use it, you can adapt your time. If your recipe says 15 to 30 minutes regular cook time in a slow cooker, you can use 4 to 6 hours on low or 1.5 to 2 hours on high. If it says 35 minutes regular cook time on your stove or whatever, it means it will take 6 to 10 hours in the slow cooker on low or 3 to 4 hours on high in your slow cooker. If it says 50 minutes to 3 hours regular time in your slow cooker, that means 8 to 16 hours on slow and 4 to 6 hours on high cook time. So you can adapt your recipes to be used in your slow cooker. Remember to keep the lids tight and closed during your cooking process. So that means no peeping. So you want to keep it closed the entire time. Now, if you have it going at home and the time and the electricity or something happens to go out while you're away during that processing time, but the power goes out, and you're not aware of how long it's been out or whatever, it's best to throw that food away because you don't know it. And looking at it, you just can't tell whether or not it's safe. But if you're at home and the power goes out, you can finish cooking your food using another means, in the stove or the oven or what have you. And if it has completed cooking before the outage, it should remain safe for up to 2 hours in the crock pot, your slow cooker. Be sure to handle your leftovers safely. Transfer leftovers to a shallow container. Refrigerate leftovers within 2 hours or less from the time they're removed from the heat of the slow cooker. And do not reheat leftovers in the slow cooker. because they do not heat up fast enough. Remember, reheating leftovers in the slow cooker is not recommended because, again, food may not stay in a safe zone between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, so bacteria will have a chance to multiply rapidly. You can reheat leftovers on the stove or in the microwave or even in the oven to a temperature of 165 degrees. Once reheated, you can place those leftovers in the crock pot to keep them warm, during serving time. So, but by all means, do not reheat food in the slow cooker. You can heat it and then place it in there to keep it hot enough for you, to keep it out of the danger zone. And voila, the most greatest thing about it, it makes cleanup easy. For easy cleanup and care of your slow cooker, you can spray the inside of it with nonstick spray before using it. And of course, there are those slow cooker liners that make easy cleanup even easier. This is a favorite all-time recipe, and I'm sure that it's in your regular cookbooks or whatever, or your regular little handouts you have, but it can be easily converted to your slow cooker. And it's very, very good. So you just follow your recipe. As it said, it says to medium to brown your meat until it's brown or in a medium skillet. And you combine all of that in your crock pot with all the other ingredients, your beans, your kidney beans, your corn, your tomatoes, tomato sauce, your peppers. You mix all that together in the crock pot and you put it on a low setting, put the top on it and let it go. And you will have a delicious meal when you get home in the evening. And you will be greeted by an aroma that's just out of this world. So what do you do next? For dinner, you just add you some bread, whole wheat bread, a tossed salad, and voila, dinner is served. Always remember, in conclusion, always remember to, before putting your food in the crock pot, remember vegetables should be placed in there first in the cooker. Do not put frozen meat, poultry or beef in the cooker. It has to be thawed out. And be sure to fill your cooker 1/4 to 3/4 full. If the power goes out, you want to be safe and do what's right and proper with that food. But if it goes out and it's finished cooking, it's going to be safe if you leave the lid on until serving. Store leftovers in the slow cooker. Can be stored in the refrigerator in the cooker, the lift out liner. But remember, you have to reheat it in the microwave or on the stove, and then you can transfer that back to your cooker to keep it warm for leftovers. My challenge for you today, to get those cookers out. You have them on the kitchen counter there, part of the decoration, or they may be stored away, but get them out. They save money, they save you time, they save you energy, and it brings out the flavor of your good soups and foods that you prepare. We're so glad you joined us today. And remember, cooking is not about being the best cook, but rather it's about being with your family and friends. And it is a family affair. I am Sarah Sims, Southern University Ag Center nutrition educator, Madison and Richland Parish. We thank you for joining us today, and please complete the survey at the end of this session. We need your input. If you have any questions, please contact us at www.suagnutrition.com. Again, I'm Sarah Sims. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.